The slot machine is the most recognizable form of gambling entertainment and has been vital to the success of Las Vegas. Millions of people spend their money to play these games every year, but have you ever wondered how they're made and what it takes for a machine to be good enough to be inside of a casino? Just a short drive from the Las Vegas Strip is a warehouse that produces over 5,000 slot machines a year. This $40 million building is the headquarters of Ainsworth Gaming Technology, the fifth largest gaming manufacturer in the country. This company owns several popular slots like Quickspin, Grand Legacy, and Thunder Cash. It takes 200 employees to operate this 300,000 square foot building that is divided in half between office space and the warehouse. We are fortunate to be joined today by Mike Trask, who is the VP of Marketing here at Ainsworth. Mike has over a dozen years of experience working in the slot industry, so we're gonna ask him some questions and get some insight for behind the scenes for how slot machines are produced. So thanks for coming.
Oh, thanks for visiting Ainsworth here in Las Vegas. Glad you finally made it to like where slot machines are born. Happy to show you around and hopefully answer some questions.
From the idea to getting produced, how long would you say that typically takes Ainsworth?
From the time our game development team is conceptualizing an idea on a piece of paper, right, PowerPoint, to the point you're seeing it on a casino floor and you're trying to hit a jackpot, usually probably in that 9 months to a year. It can be done a little quicker with some simpler concepts, but generally in that range.
And when you're going through this process of developing and producing a brand new slot machine, what's the biggest challenge? What are the biggest factors?
Well, it's a competitive landscape for sure, right? You're talking about multiple vendors in the industry doing this. Out here on the 215, if you drive down, you see us, you see some of our competitors all right from the highway. And so you're talking about, a very competitive landscape. So that's first. And then secondly is, right, there has been a lot of slot machines made over years. Yeah. And so trying to come up with that right idea, getting the math right, getting the art right, making sure it's compliant with all applicable regulations. So there's a number of little challenges from a creative side to an engineering side to in some cases even a legal regulatory side.
What is that dynamic like between you creating a slot machine, the casino, and the gaming control board saying you have to pay out this certain rate? Who set those actual rates?
So everybody who comes to Vegas probably heard of the Nevada Gaming Commission. Right. But there's similar commissions in every gaming market in the US, abroad. They are making sure that the player is coming in and is getting a fair experience on their game, watching out for responsible gaming issues. It's vital to the industry that's there. And we meet those, we take it very seriously. It's a large part of what we do. Everybody here carries some kind of license with a number of agencies.
Is there ever really any kind of difference of opinion or struggle between the payout rate that maybe the governing body wants set, or the manufacturer wants, or the casino wants?
I wouldn't say payout percentage really comes into play, right? Is all markets have a minimum payback percentage, typically around 85% is about standard across. It can fluctuate depending on the market. And, to make a game that's paying less than that, it's going to be a pretty negative experience for the player, right? So, from a slot machine manufacturer perspective, we believe, higher payout is going to give a better play experience, and then the player is going to play more. But at the end of the day, those returns to player paybacks percentages, this stuff you're seeing in the industry newsletters, is really at the end of the day going to be determined by the casino or the tavern or whatever location you're choosing to gamble in.
So people say, hey, what's a strategy to winning at slots? Are there any true strategies that you would say are legitimate?
The strategy I've tried to rely on is just hope I'm really lucky that day. is really my best strategy gimmick. These games are totally random, and when you hit that spin button, you're getting one of millions of potential results on the game. So you have to be very, very lucky, particularly, to hit these massive jackpots. And so, but as far as strategy look, there is blogs and websites and YouTubers out there, with all kinds of different strategies. I can just say that you need to be very lucky. And you need to stick within your bankroll, play responsibly.
One idea I've heard is that machines that are branded after like a movie or a TV show or something like that, those machines supposedly cost more to produce, and because they do, they supposedly have a lower payback percentage. Is there truth to that?
So we've done a number of branded games. Most popular one we've ever done was a Pac-Man game, which was very cool. Are they more expensive to produce? It depends on the license, right? But yes, there's a third party, whether it's a singer or a movie, it's not free to take that. But typically how that's paid for by the manufacturer is by some form of lease agreement with the operator. So as opposed to it being sold outright, there may be some agreement with the operator where it costs more. Thus, those games, you have to make them perform better. You need players to love those games for it to be successful. But as far as the actual payback on the game, that's going to be in line with everything else on a floor, right?
So really, they don't really get any special treatment from other machines.
They get special treatment in the terms of the marketing and the branding, and are held to a much higher expectation by properties, right? Because it's valuable floor space. But as far as those percentages, you're still offering the same sort of menu of paybacks, if you will, no matter if it's a classic penny game or the Pac-Man penny game.
Okay. Who is an agency, like you said there's several, but what is an agency that audits these machines, that does thousands and thousands of spins to make sure that they're operating properly? There's
two major sort of third-party testing labs. So they will test these games, and they are contracted by markets around the globe. Both of them have offices here in Las Vegas, as well as elsewhere. So they are testing, auditing games on their level. And then a place like Nevada also tests all the games by the state agency themselves. So they'll go through multiple testing in many markets, if not most markets. And we're talking about one test we run on our games is 100 million simulated spins. So it is a significant amount of effort that goes into ensuring that those games meet the requirements.
And let's say the state of Nevada realizes one of your games is, it's not in compliance. What will they do? They'll come back to you.
They would revoke the game, right? So if there's ever a problem or something that was missed, Nevada or other regulatory agencies can essentially send notice to the property that game has to be shut down, and we have to either fix it or go put a different game in or take the game away. Yeah, so this is where our game development team is, hence the slot machines, some crazy decorations, and so the people who work in this area of the building are everything from mathematicians, graphic artists, software engineers, game builders, other technical type, quality assurance type people. And so they are the folks who generally are concepting these games and doing the work, whether it's drawing the cute panda you've seen, or coming up with the math model beyond how often a bonus hits, or programming the game to make sure that when you hit the $2 spin button, it's betting $2 at the appropriate level. A huge part of what we do here.
And one thing about when it comes to the placement of machines on casino floors is that, from what I understand, the casinos actually have to rely quite a bit on the manufacturers to help guide them with where they think machines should be placed or how many machines, because the people might think of manufacturers say, okay, we want as many of our machines on your floor as possible, but there might be an area where the casino would say, okay, we can put 4 of your machines here, but you might say, no, 4 is going to be too many. Let's actually put 2 instead of 4, because it's like you oversaturate that section of the floor.
Yeah, I mean, look, the casino floor is the casinos. It's constant negotiation with the manufacturers, competition for those key, those key spots, those places people walk in, or next to the coffee shop, or whatever those kind of top key locations on our casino floor are competitive amongst the manufacturers with the casino. And then certainly we're looking at games and what configuration or package we think is going to work the best, whether that's a 4-pack or a 6-pack, or and that's going to vary greatly depending on what style of game it is.
So just within that though, the casinos, they don't charge you any more to have machines in certain locations on the floor.
No, so
that's another concept.
Yeah, so business model of a manufacturer is really twofold, right? And it's basically, you're selling the product to the casino, and of course you are pushing to have a primary location or a good location, because we want the game to perform well, right? Like that's.
So does the casino.
So does the casino, correct.
Both make money.
But there's a different price point. I've never heard of that. Like, oh, that's the cheap section. Right. I haven't found that to be true.
So it's
no.
not more to be near the high limit room versus spot on the floor?
I don't think so, unless it's news to me.
So this kind of plays in the idea where people think that machines that are at the end of the aisle or machines that are near an entrance door have better payback rates.
Yeah.
Because they're by like the heavy foot traffic.
And they probably do get one on more because they're played more, right? It's a chicken or the egg, right? So if like that's the most popular game on a casino floor, like yes, people win on it more than the game that is rarely played. And so it becomes that the fun of gambling, right? Like every time I walk by, somebody's winning, but every time you walk by, somebody's on the game too. And there's other games you've walked by a dozen times and
you never notice people.
Correct. Yeah.
So Mike, thank you for coming on today, and well, one, having us here, but two, also answering all these questions.
I appreciate it. Thanks for coming by Ainsworth.
Most people probably don't drive by and they don't realize this place makes 5,000 slot machines.
No clue, right? No clue. It's the big red A, right? Is what people say. But you got a little look at it, and it's a pretty dynamic employee base, pretty interesting, unique environment, and we are constantly recruiting for more people, and in this market, trying to compete to get those employees and again, make that next great game.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you for checking out this video behind the scenes of the slot manufacturer. There's going to be a link down below if you want to see the full set of questions I asked Mike while we were here on tour. I only had a handful for this video, but if you want to see all the questions about slots and more behind the scenes stuff, link is down below to my other YouTube channel called Adrenaline Slots. You can find all of the questions there.